It's been a while since Chelsea signed a player. Their transfer ban has stopped new lads coming to Stamford Bridge, even if they did find a loophole and bring Mateo Kovacic back this summer. But with their transfer ban potentially set to be lifted ahead of the January transfer window, depending on how their appeal goes, they could be back in business. So today we're going to look at Chelsea's last 25 signings and rate them out of 10, and that's just including senior players. Kennedy 3.5 out of 10. We're starting off by going back to the summer of 2015, back when Jose Mourinho was the Blues boss, and a young Brazilian arrived for £6.3 million from Fluminense. Chelsea had had previous success from signing youngsters from South America, and Kennedy sounded like another gem. But alas, he was not. He struggled to stand out at Chelsea, even playing left back at times, and he spent most of his days out on loan, including an 18-month spell at Newcastle where he both dazzled and frustrated. Now he's at Getafe, still unable to get another crack at Chelsea despite the transfer ban. Papi Djilabodji 4 out of 10. The only reason this guy gets a somewhat respectable rating is because Chelsea somehow doubled their money on him. He cost £4 million, then they were able to flog him off to Sunderland for £8 million, where he disgraced himself during a woeful season for the Black Cats, sliding into the Championship before being sacked a year later. Before that he only played once for Chelsea, so just what was Sunderland thinking? It's no wonder they're in such a state. Michael Hector 2 out of 10. This was another odd signing, at a time where it looked like Chelsea were just picking players out of a hat. Hector signed from Reading in 2015, but it's not like he was a young and up-and-comer at the time, he was 23. The defender had 4 loan spells away from Stamford Bridge, never playing a single minute for Chelsea, and is set to sign for Fulham in January. Marco Amelia 1 out of 10. A veteran Italian goalkeeper, Marco Amelia turned up at Stamford Bridge just to make the numbers up after a Thibaut Courtois injury, and that's all he really did. He didn't play a senior game and left at the end of the season when his short-term deal expired. Now 37, Amelia manages in the 4th tier of Italian football. Matt Miazga 2 out of 10. Another rogue Chelsea signing, the American defender joined the club in January 2016 from New York Red Bulls. Miazga has actually played for Chelsea with 2 Premier League appearances to his name, but the majority of his time has been spent out on loan. That's where he is now, enjoying a second spell at the Medeski Stadium with Reading. His Chelsea contract ends in the summer, which was surely the end of the road for him. Michy Batshuayi 5.5 out of 10. The first mega money signing we're going to look at, Michy Batshuayi cost £33 million in the summer of 2016. It's hard to assess the Belgian's time at Chelsea, as he's had multiple loan spells, scored some key goals in blue, but never been the main man at Stamford Bridge. He scored the goal that won Antonio Conte the title, and is now second choice ahead of Olivier Giroud under Frank Lampard's management. But for the money spent, more was expected, but there's still hope yet for the Belgian. N'Golo Kante 9.5 out of 10. Probably Chelsea's best signing since Eden Hazard, Kante cost £32 million from Leicester and he's been worth every penny. The Frenchman played a key role in Conte winning the league, and he's since gone on to win an FA Cup and the Europa League, and the World Cup, no biggie. Kante is a Rolls-Royce midfielder with the attitude of a plucky Ford Fiesta. He's a role model and one of Chelsea's signings of the decade. Eduardo Carvalho 1 out of 10. From a superstar to a third choice goalkeeper, Eduardo didn't really do anything, just making the numbers up like Marco Amelia did. He didn't play once in 3 years and joined Braga in July 2019. Marcos Alonso 7 out of 10. A Spanish defender who probably longs for the return of Antonio Conte, this rating might seem a little too high. But Marcos Alonso really was sensational in his left wing back role, making everyone forget that he used to play for Bolton and Sunderland. His performances have seemingly depleted since the illustrious Conte days, but he's still capable for some pieces and chipping in with a goal. It's just a shame he can't really defend at all. David Luiz 7 out of 10. In the summer of 2016, David Luiz returned to Chelsea, insisting he had unfinished business. 1 year later he'd won the Premier League title and was named in the PFA Team of the Year. However, he barely featured the next season before returning to the side under Maurizio Sarri last time out. He joined Arsenal in the summer, and it's fair to say the Blues aren't missing him. Willy Caballero 6 out of 10. Brought in as a backup keeper in 2017, Willy Caballero hasn't really put a foot wrong when called upon, with his biggest moment coming in a game where he didn't play, as Kepa refused to come off in last season's League Cup final. Who knows, maybe they'd actually won the tournament if Caballero had came on, but alas, we'll never know. Antonio Rudiger 9 out of 10. We're probably yet to see the best of Antonio Rudiger in a Chelsea shirt, but he was a real star last season under Maurizio Sarri after a slow start of life in the Premier League. He's athletic and a leader, and a player who Chelsea would really benefit from this season with the lack of experience at the back. Unfortunately for him and Chelsea, he's missed most of the season so far due to injury. Teemu Bakayoko 2.5 out of 10. Well, this was a disaster, wasn't it? The Monaco team that won Ligue 1 was torn apart, but Bakayoko was unable to replicate his form in the Premier League, instead picking up silly red cards, playing shocking passes and showing off awful blue hair. It was an expensive mistake, costing £40 million, although somehow they might be able to get their money back if Monaco make his loan move permanent. Alvaro Morata 3.5 out of 10. I kind of feel bad for Alvaro Morata, as I think he got a lot of undeserved flack at Chelsea, which eventually led to him leaving. He scored 11 Premier League goals in his first season, which wasn't bad at all, and he had a strong understanding with Eden Hazard. But his performances did eventually get worse, leading to a loan move to Atletico Madrid. For £60 million though, it's fair that Chelsea fans did expect a bit more. Davide ZAPPACOSTA 3 out of 10. An out of the blue signing on transfer deadline day summer 2017, Davide ZAPPACOSTA never really seemed to fit in at Stamford Bridge, an expensive backup option who really wasn't good enough when called upon. He barely played at all last season and is now on loan at Roma after strangely adding another year to his Chelsea contract. Danny Drinkwater 1 out of 10. What a disaster this was, and to be honest I think most people saw it coming. Danny Drinkwater was brilliant when Leicester won the title, but that doesn't mean he was worth £35 million years later. The midfielder linked back up with N'Golo Kante, but was unable to recapture the magic that they had together, and spent most of his time sat in catering, unable to even get a place on the bench. Now he's on loan at Burnley, and the less said about that the better. Ross Barkley 6 out of 10. A £15 million signing from Everton in January 2018, Ross Barkley's career hasn't quite hit the heights expected of him. But last season under Sarri he was alright, doing a job in the middle of the park. He's yet to have the same impact under Frank Lampard, who probably wishes Barkley was as good for Chelsea as he is for England. Emerson Palmieri 5.5 out of 10. A January 2018 signing from Roma, it's taken a while for Emerson to actually have something that resembles an impact at Chelsea, but he's actually starting to get a few more minutes under Frank Lampard, even if he's not that impressive. His first 18 months were spent in the shadows of Marcos Alonso, which isn't a great place to be, but now he's out of that shadow, but surely isn't Frank Lampard's long-term choice to be left back at Chelsea. Olivier Giroud 6.5 out of 10. Another January 2018 signing, Olivier Giroud was part of the transfer merry-go-round including Michy Batshuayi, Alexis Sanchez and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Who got the better of the deal? Well, Arsenal did, but Giroud has been a loyal servant at Chelsea, especially in last season's Europa League where he was pretty much unstoppable. His minutes are pretty non-existent this season, which could see him leave in January. Jorginho 8.5 out of 10. A player signed specifically for Sarri ball, Jorginho actually looks even better now that Sarri's gone. The midfielder is a top player, a leader on the pitch who can dictate play and control a game, seeing things that others don't. After all, there's a reason Pep Guardiola wanted to sign him for City. But he's Chelsea's player, and a player who seems to be getting better and better now that the Sarri shackles are off. Rob Green 1 out of 10. God bless Rob Green, I'd have celebrated like he did if I'd won the Europa League last season and not played a single minute. It was pretty funny, but in the grand scheme of things Rob Green was just there to fill a space. A veteran third choice goalkeeper who'll never play, but is experienced enough if called upon. Green spent one season at Chelsea in what was effectively a year-long holiday. Fair play to him. Kepa Arrizabalaga 6.5 out of 10. The most expensive goalkeeper in the world, Kepa came in as a long-term replacement for Thibaut Courtois, and I think it's fair to say he hasn't quite matched the standards set by the Belgian. Kepa hasn't been a bad keeper, he just doesn't seem to be on that elite level that the top clubs need. That's not to say he won't get there, he's only 25 which is damn young for a goalkeeper, but for now there's still a lot of room for improvement. Mateo Kovacic 8 out of 10. The Croatian midfielder actually joined Chelsea last year on loan, but was able to become a permanent player over the summer because he was already registered by the club, creating a bit of a loophole in the transfer ban. Last year Kovacic was pretty average, but was doing a lot better this time out. He's brave on the ball, driving up the pitch, while also competent at the defensive side of the game as well. A good piece of business by Chelsea, even if he did cost £40 million. Christian Pulisic 8.5 out of 10. The American superstar completed a deal to join Chelsea in January 2019, but he wouldn't actually start at Stamford Bridge until this season. And after a slow start, Pulisic is really showing everyone what the fuss is all about, with a hat-trick away at Burnley sparking life into his Chelsea career. He's quick with and without the ball, and he's got an end product. He's no Hazard replacement, but Pulisic is certainly showing that there's life after the world-class Belgian. Gonzalo Higuain 4 out of 10. This loan deal was a bit sad, as I really thought Gonzalo Higuain was going to be a goal machine for Chelsea, but alas he was far from it. The Argentinian striker netted 5 goals in 14 Premier League outings, but often looked immobile up top on his own, unable to influence games or justify the hype surrounding his arrival. He left in the summer and wasn't asked to come back permanently. But thank goodness, otherwise Tammy Abraham wouldn't have happened. So that's Chelsea's last 25 signings rated out of 10. Let us know your ratings in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.